Hello and welcome to the Soulful Mamas podcast. You're with your host Maria, and welcome to this episode. Welcome to Maria's Musing. And today I am musing on the full moon, which is coming up tomorrow, Thursday, 13th of February, for us in the Southern Hemisphere. And the full moon is in Leo. And Leo, the lion, the courage, the strength, the heart. It's all about this big, beautiful heart. So I keep having these images of this heart energy and, expansive heart picture that keeps popping up. So there you go. You're going to get a little musing on that. But it made me remember something one of my teachers shared many years ago. In fact, he continues to share it. But when he first said it, it really landed with me, and I haven't forgot it. And he said that the longest journey that you will ever take is in the journey from your head down to your heart, and it's so true. We can get really caught up in the busyness of life in our mind. So we're always in the head, thinking, planning, doing, making to-do lists, ticking off the things on the to-do list to add more to the to-do list. It's just this never-ending cycle. And I'm already feeling, we've just started back at, the school year has started. This is the second week. And I know for myself, I'm already feeling in that energy of getting caught up in so many things, the busyness and the tasks and the meetings and the everything that needs to happen. Well, maybe air quotes needs to happen in a day, in a week. And I guess it's just that transition from that holiday space back into school and work space, and balancing all of that and holding that space for your children to transition into that. And I can feel that for them and for me and for others as well. So there's just a little bit of but we can get caught up into everything that goes along with starting a new school year and what we need to do and not do. And we forget very quickly to breathe and to come into a space of coming back down into the heart, because the heart is like it's almost like that true north, that guiding light that's not going to steer you wrong. And if we think of the seat of our soul, where your soul feels most at home, if you think of the soul within the body, it's another conversation, because we are within the soul. Who knows? But let's just say that we're sitting in that heart space, the true essence of you. And you can tap into your true north and what is it that you are here to do and be and say. And you can do that with such grace, ease, and flow when it's coming from a space of truth and authenticity, which is coming from the heart. Because often coming from the head, it's we overthink it. Maybe overthink it to not want to upset anybody or offend anybody, or maybe we don't overthink it at all and we just blurt it out, and it needed to be a little bit more considered. And so that journey from the head to the heart has to be a conscious one. And the way to get there is through the breath. It's the intention that flows on the breath. So you're making that choice, that conscious choice, setting that intention to allow yourself a little moment in time. And this is where my sacred pause came about. It started, just bringing yourself back into a place of centered being, so that you can answer the question, think about whether it's a sacred yes, sacred no, have this expansive vision before you of all of the moving parts in what is happening, whether what you say and what you don't say, and do you get involved or do you not get involved, and do you have the capacity to help and say yes, or do you not? Like there's so many moving parts, and when we come at it from this expansive perspective, and even though we think that our head, our mind, it's at the top of our being and that it has the better vantage point where it can see more, I feel like it's the heart that actually has that true bird's eye view. It's because it's so expansive and inclusive and so aware and so loving, so compassionate. So it enables us to come from that part of ourselves. And to give you just a little story of my journey coming into that, finding this essentially, maybe how long ago? I'm not sure, 8, maybe 10 years ago, when my daughter was we're on a huge eczema journey with her. She was quite unwell for, her first 4 years of life were really challenging. I did do a podcast episode on it, so if you want to hear that story, I'm not quite sure the number, but you'll find it. Otherwise, get hold of me and I can send it to you. But it's it's the catalyst for a complete change in my journey, that happening. So hindsight, it was a gift. In the moment, it was hard as hell, really hard. Anyway, she couldn't eat many things, gluten, dairy. At that point, it was eggs, refined sugar, anything with colouring, and meat was something else that just she refused to eat it and didn't agree with her. And yeah, her body knew. But I was floundering, trying to work out how to provide a balanced, nutritious diet for her, that all her needs have been met, and supporting her system, and it was a lot. So anyway, a friend of mine, she belonged to a kind of a recipe club where it was an initiative where people were trialing eating vegan. So no meat, no dairy, or no animal products, and also it was gluten-free and refined sugar-free. So she invited me along and she said, you might learn a few, different recipes. These are mainly for people that are trying to get their health back on track, but it would be applicable. And so I went along, and it was great. We'd try different things, and I learnt, new ways of cooking, all different ingredients. It was wonderful. And one of the meetings, it was a little bit different, and they invited everyone it was about habits, and they invited people to do or not do something for a month and be consistent with it. And they were sort of speaking to the people that maybe were smoking or drinking alcohol, or just to limit, like instead of a pack, have half a pack, whatever, just different things. And to exercise more, all different things that people trying to create new habits. And I was listening and I thought, I don't really know what that would be for me. None of those things that they've mentioned applied to me. And then after a bit of a conversation, it was brought to my attention that I had no time at all for myself. There was not a second in the day that I gave myself permission to just be. It was a foreign word, foreign concept, absolutely. And I just thought, oh, okay. And at first, I think they said something like, an hour a day. And I thought, you've got to be dreaming. You're joking. And it ended up, my goal was to find 10 minutes a day where I didn't do anything. No jobs, no chores, no research, no anything. Just me. And I thought, there's no way actually I'm going to do that. 10 minutes. Where on earth am I going to find 10 minutes? 5 minutes if I'm lucky. But anyway, I committed to it. And this is me. When I commit to something, when I say yes, I will stick to it because I've got accountability. If I find it easier to show up for myself, but with somebody else holding that. Whereas if I just did it myself, I'd find a reason not to do it, or I'd, put it back at the bottom of the list. And so I agreed, I did this. And so the first few days, it was a little bit different and it felt a bit odd because I'd just sit and I'd just basically do nothing, nothing, no distractions at all, even though the pile of washing is over there looking at me. And so I did it, and over time it got easier. And what also happened, not just the fact it got easier, and my family kind of just worked around it, and it became like this portal of time and space opened up. And sometimes it was more than 10, it was like 15, 20, 30 minutes. And sometimes even I would find myself being able to meditate for an hour. I mean, what is that? It just was unheard of. It was like, Maria, well done. Here you go. For you, you get 25 hours in a day. That's what it felt like. And it was such a gift. And the beautiful thing about that, I did that for the month consistently. And it was funny. I went back the next time and nobody else had done it. Nobody. Not one person had done it. And obviously it was something within me that really did need to happen, but it was another catalyst. It just shifted something in me in the importance of that stillness, because in the stillness, that expansion could really happen. And yeah, I was able to really drop further into discerning what I needed to do and not needed to do. I was in such a overwhelmed, so tired. Like the sleep just did not happen in those first few years. To be honest, I think I'm still recovering from that. I was just overwhelmed and undersupported completely. And a lot of that's my own doing, because I thought I could do it myself. And, hindsight's such a wonderful thing, isn't it? But I'm saying this now because it's a lot of the work that I do with people now is talking about finding that stillness. And I talk about it all the time, taking a sacred pause. And you may listen to this and think, oh, well, here she goes again. If only you knew, Maria, I've got this reason, this reason, this reason. It's the reason I can't take that sacred pause. It's the reason I can't find that time for myself. If only you knew. And I get it, because I do know. But I also know that when we commit to ourselves, magic happens. It does unfold, and you will find that, because this is what your heart, your soul's actually asking for, that space. And what it showed me is that I was operating in survival mode, very much in survival mode, but coming from my head, and I wasn't able to drop down into my heart for myself. It went out to everybody else but myself. And as a result, I was absolutely pouring from an empty cup. And so I thinking about this full moon and this Leo energy, this heart energy, and that journey from the head to the heart. Do you think you can give yourself permission in this beautiful little full moon energy portal that we're in, is just to be for a little bit, just to drop into your heart space? Do that on your breath. So it's breathing down from that head to the heart, and just allow that, the beauty and the simplicity of nothingness, that stillness, and it's just nothing. And thoughts, they come, they go, they flow. Of course, you're going to think the mind can't turn off, or you won't be here if the brain doesn't work. But they flow. They come and they go. And sometimes they need more. They're a bit louder and they want a bit more space there, but you give them the nod and then allow them to move on. So it's just coming back into that heart space. And then then you can slowly, your body starts to relax and the shoulders drop, and you can just feel a sense of weightlessness. That weight starts to shift. And the more we do this, the lighter we actually feel. So this is my invitation to you for tomorrow, but not just tomorrow, for any day and every day. And if you need some accountability, if you need support, someone to walk alongside you in doing this, then this is what I do. I work with women, primarily women, and supporting them to come back to themselves, the soul-filling, what is it that you need to show up to be the best version of you, for the best mother, the best partner, whatever it is, and bring that back into harmony, dropping into that space, finding your true north, finding what lights you up, and just having that support and guidance to do that. Because I too was exactly like you, like that. And I still am on that journey of discovering I still have my accountability people that help me come back into that alignment and space as well. So have a beautiful full moon, everybody. Have a soul-filling week ahead. And yeah, Maria at Parenting with Soul if you want to find out a little bit more. But in the meantime, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next week.